she is. There's my fiance. He'll come to the video later, but right now she's there just playing. Free. Sable's protection training leading up to a real life event. Sable's protection training leading up to a real life event. Sable's training started as soon as I brought her home from the theater. I encouraged barking whenever she would see her reflection in a mirror. I tried to attach a cue guard, but that didn't really stick because she kind of got like sussed out by it. So I started using the cue watch 'em, and that stuck a lot better. And she also knows howl. She like responds way better to the howl cue, but I don't know. Videos. Sable was taken everywhere with me and has been conditioned to public places and how people act while basically. Because I mean, most people have a set standard of like a vibe that like is exhibited. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but she was only personally exposed to family and only allowed to be petted by family until she was about 8.5, 9 months old. When she was trained to like the service dog standards, with the exception of eyes on me 24/7 in public. I have her training as to where she doesn't have to watch me in public, so like my anxiety doesn't skyrocket as bad as when she does, like when her or my fiance aren't around. But her tell-up scenario, with her directed bark cue, when I try to get her to watch them when there is no threat, in the past she has not or won't bark.
Sable, watch him.
Like if she doesn't think it's a threat, she'll like make a light boof sound, kind of like kind of type deal, until she is prompted with a different speech cue, such as howl, or enough time she'll give in and she'll just bark like once or twice. But then she'll stop as long as like her personal tell of scenario isn't. This isn't a violent scenario. This is just a scenario. So I'm not like wanting to bark, but like I'll bark if you want me to. One time when I was in the parking lot waiting for Austin to come back from grabbing something in the store, she would not bark. She would only boof, and I'm so upset that I don't have this on video. But as soon as because we were parked in the car and there were people walking past like further away from the car, and I was trying to get her to watch them, and she would not bark. But as soon as some old guy came walking around his van that was parked right next to us, she started barking because he was approaching our car. But as soon as he turned around to open his door, she stopped. It was really cool, and I'm just embarrassed that I don't have it on video, honestly. A lot of this is just talking to yourself really weird, isn't it? Okay, gun incident. We moved out of my adopted dad's house on Wednesday, the 24th. And we got to a hotel like really, really late, basically Thursday morning. And we went out to the car one last time to bring some stuff in, and Austin had a firearm pulled on him. We went to the car to grab something, and there were like 3 men out in the parking lot. So here's the car. There was one further off in the distance, about 25 feet, and 2 were like behind the car. Like here was the car and here were the 2. One guy came around the car and cornered Austin in a car door. So yeah, you basically just cut in and help me tell the story, because I know I won't be able to get everything that like happened on your side, because I didn't say everything that happened on your side.
Yeah, pretty much just there was a guy who was walking up to our car. There were 2 other guys a little further away. And I was on the driver's side of the car door. She was on the passenger side. And that dude came up to me and he was asking me if I had any bullets or something for his gun. And immediately at that point I was like, oh great, this guy has a gun. He came up to us. Like that's not a good sign. And he pulled the gun out as he asked that question. And he was asking me if he had any rounds, kind of like he was showing it off.
Like, how close just was he? Because
he was showing the gun off.
That's something my mind honestly. Like,
I'm glad I didn't say
processing is just how close he was with that gun.
Yeah, as he was showing the gun off, he was probably about as close as like we are here right? And he was like showing the gun off, and he was like, so whenever he asked if I had any rounds left, he was like, hey man, you got any rounds left? I've only got 2 left. And obviously there was only me and Jess there. That kind of implied something. But yeah, he was about this far away as he came up to me and he was asking that question. And then I was turned kind of like this, because I was in, no, this way, because I was in the car as he was talking to me, right? And then whenever he said that and I said, sorry, I don't have any rounds for you, he was like, well, how about any cash then? You guys got anything for me? And then that's whenever I turned to face him a little bit, because at that point I realized what he was doing. Obviously I'm a big dude, so I kind of turned in towards him, gun still into my stomach, and I was like, nah man, we don't have any cash for you. And at that point I think he realized he either had to escalate or back off. So he took a few steps back and was like, oh man, okay, and then walked away. That was my interaction on that side, that dude coming up to me and talking with me. I know that there were 2 other guys who were there who were on her side, and you know how Sable kind of, I think she kind of intimidated them to not getting close, which I appreciate.
Honestly, as all this was going on, I was in the passenger side and I could not see a gun. All I saw was the guy, and I thought he was asking for money, and I honestly thought he was homeless until I heard, I ain't got any 45s from Austin. And that's when I realized that's not something he'd normally say. So I flicked my eyes up and my brain did not register the gun, but I did register that there was some type of threat there. And I honestly, I don't know, I've been working on my brain. Like, it's weird. Ever since the car crash and then now this, it feels really fragile and like appreciate life type stuff. But I stopped looking for what I was looking for and I stood up out of the car. Alright, so like, let's pretend here is the car door, right? Like, and then it opens up this way. No, wait, okay. It opens up this way. So I'll be like in the car. I was in the car. And I was looking for something. My back was totally turned. I had Sable on the leash, but she was smelling and sniffing around and not paying attention because it just rained, and like her nose is her driving force. She is a scent-based dog. She's not a memory-based dog. She's not, is 100% a scent dog, and it had just rained, so I wasn't really worried. I know she likes sniffing, but I was in the car, and as soon as he said, no, I ain't got any 45s for you, man, I kind of flicked my eyes up, registered like what was going on, kind of, and then I kind of like stood up myself, turned around, I was like, Sable, center. And I got her in the center. She's not right now. She's like, nah, I'm playing. I had her get into the center, and she like took about 2 seconds of watching these guys, and it clicked in her head what was going on too. She kind of like started growling a deep growl, and it was like a sort of growl I haven't really heard from her before. Like, whenever we wrestle while she's playing, she does get very vocal, but nothing has been like this deep of a stomach, I don't like you growl. All of them before have been throw, I'm playing, it's fun, it's not really gonna hurt you growls. It's just actually really kind of awesome looking back at the range of vocals a dog can utilize to communicate, just like cats, and animals are wild. But I honestly felt like Sable was good and like wouldn't let the guys get any closer on my side. So I went back to looking in the car with Sable still in the center and growling. So I didn't raise too much suspicion that I knew what was going on, because for some reason, like in my mind, it's solidified that if something like that is happening and people don't realize that you know what's happening, as long as you can play along and get out as safe as you can, like that's more than likely the best bet, and instead of like trying to fight back or raise suspicion or everything like that. So I was just doing what I figured and I knew what to do to try to protect myself. And then I went back against my business, because I didn't want them to come like, oh shit, she knows what's going on type, you know? But, and I definitely think Sable is why they didn't get any closer on my side. But the 2 on my side were definitely keeping their eyes on Austin. And the guy on Austin's side, when after like their whole spiel ended, and he was done talking, and Austin like squared up on the guy. The guy from Austin's side walked away and talked to the guy on my side who had walked off. Like, he had backed up literally after I put Sable in the center, and she started growling, and he walked a little bit further away. And they all like huddled up together with the third man. Like, it was really weird. All three of them together, like, no, type stuff, and it was just weird. So we went to the room as quickly as we could, but I didn't go super quick because, again, I didn't want them to think, oh, she knows what's going on. We gotta get them, type, because I'm just very paranoid already as it is. But after about 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, there was a single loud bang at the door. It was almost like someone was trying out for the SWAT team. Like, it was like that. It was really weird. And in the middle of the night, like, it was just really off-putting. And Sable instantly started barking.
Sable.
And she was not listening.
Watch
she was
him.
being purposely disobedient.
Good girl.
And I'm okay with it in this scenario. Because of the fact that there was a threat before, and then a bang at the door, which is something that she has been trained to bark at, and then she would not come back to me. And looking back at the way like everything was set up, because it went the door, Austin, Sable, and then me in the bed still. She didn't come back until she like had the feeling of, okay, it's fine, whatever. Sable, leave it, icky. But we barricaded the door with a sofa and a chair, or two, I think. And we waited until it got light outside. And luckily, we had at least one loving, caring family member near-ish by. And we went to Austin's mom's house for a day or two until we were able to get moved into our new apartment. Sable's training moving forward, and don't let her dig. And how I plan to implement it moving forward. I've looked into working with a decoy for bite work, but I haven't found somebody that I would fully trust to not only work with my dog, but work her the way that I want to work her, not their way. And I know that's like something a lot of people deal with, but it's just, for me, I'd rather like make sure I know who my decoy is and like everything like that. And it's just, with how much we've been kind of moving these last few months, we're not in a area long enough to like really set up that relation. So I've been looking at bodysuits, but I know you can't take a bite from your own dog, and it's really weird. But I do, however, plan on teaching a kill type cue for wildlife, because she went head up with a possum, and I want to be able to fulfill her genetics as a hunting breed mix, being a Dalmatian and a pit bull. She already does have a targeted bite cue, such as schla, but she mainly focuses on toys, and plus she has no previous decoy work. The only type of bite work on a human she's done is when we play and wrestle, and she like I've tried to like get her to bite down a little bit harder, but she's still it's not the type that I want. And I know that the playing and the way that we do it isn't the best and right way to go about working bite work for protection. It's more of like a bite work for fun and play, like IGP sport type work. And I'm still figuring out how to like actually implement day to day, and that's what this section is for. So, but I plan on working, practice like starting small and working my way up with her new directed aggression cue. Just like kill it or get them.
Yes.
I'm honestly leaning more towards get them for a cue or Cujo.
I'm just gonna
though build. I haven't really started using anything much.
Get it, Sable. Get it.
We have.
See, as you can see, there's a bunch.
Tried to get her to start killing insects, like flies and spiders, like so she can kind of associate that cue with like something being there and then it not.
Yes.
So I don't know how that'll go.
Yes.
But honestly, that's
Get
all
it,
I have
Sable,
for right
get it.
now. And